Today on Cooking with All Night, FatGum happens to be out on a mission right now, so you're stuck with my cooking. Today we're gonna make some meatloaf. Remember to always wash your hands prior to handling any raw foods such as vegetables and meats, like we will be doing. It's also COVID, so you should be washing your heads anyway. Make sure you get it in there in some hot soapy water for at least 20 to 30 seconds. And 20. First, you'll want to preheat your oven to 375. First thing I'm going to do is saute up some onions to add to our meat mixture, along with our seasoning and sauce to give it a little bit of kick. And we'll also be making mashed potatoes. While we wait for the onions to caramelize, prepare your loaf pan and the sauce for the top of your meatloaf once it's finished. Add your nice caramelized onions to the meatloaf mixture. And then mix well. United States of Smash! Make sure to wash your hands after the smashing of the meatloaf into the pan. Put it in the oven and cook it for 40 minutes. While you wait for your meatloaf to cook, you can take the time to do the dishes and clean up the mess that you made making it. This just means less for you to do later. As it gets closer to the meatloaf's cooking time being done, make sure you start boiling your potatoes. We'll be mashing these later. Once your potatoes have boiled until they're soft, drain them. Throw a nice hunk of butter in there and smash! Add a splash of milk to make it creamy and stir well. Now that's some good looking mashed potatoes. After the 40 minutes are up, pull the meatloaf out of the oven. It's time to glaze it, but first we need some drippings from this meatloaf to make our gravy. Tilt it very carefully so that the juices drain into a small container. Now, if you're like me, you might have used a leaner meat for your meatloaf, so there might not be much drippings for you to use. This is also a spoonful of the topping or glaze for the meatloaf to give the gravy a little bit of a kick. If you don't know how to make your own gravy, store-bought is just fine. Once glazed and your drippings in the container for the gravy, it's time to put it back in the oven for another 20 minutes. Follow the directions on your package of gravy or ask your grandma. Grandmas make terrific gravy. If you don't know how to make your own gravy, store-bought is just fine. Follow the directions on your package of gravy or ask your grandma. Grandmas make terrific gravy. Keep your mashed potatoes and gravy on low heat for the next few minutes while we wait for the meatloaf to finish. Once the timer is up, take the meatloaf out of the oven and shut the oven off. Leave your stuff warm and let your meatloaf sit for at least 5 minutes before serving. Carefully plate up your meal and enjoy!